What's up everyone? Welcome to the Sunday sessions where I discuss anything that I think about related to karate or the martial arts, give my views and opinions on it. I try and find things that I think are wrong with it that we can maybe fix, and I try and find some things that are really good at it with it that we should look to improve, look to build on. So in today's session I'm going to be talking about should martial arts instructors, and particularly karate instructors, should there be formalized qualifications? So, short answer, no, but yes. Longer answer, I very much agree with Ian Abernethy's assessment that with the huge range of clubs and provision in karate, it would be nearly impossible to have a formalized qualification in the same way that there is for example, boxing or judo, because the breadth of what we do is so much wider than those. It would be really difficult to have something that covered everything and that also didn't sit at quite a low level. So what I actually think needs to happen is more karate instructors and perhaps martial arts instructors in general need to be looking at further education qualifications, so actual teaching and education qualifications, rather than looking to get qualified as, for example, a karate coach or karate instructor. In England, which is the only country I can talk with any kind of reasonable authority about, we do have these at lower levels. So I've completed what's called the AET, so the Award in Education and Training. So this is a level 3 qualification, so it's it's a nationally recognised qualification. If I was to go and teach in adult education, for example, teach adults to read or write, or provide actual lessons, classroom lessons in, for example, prisons and inpatient settings in hospitals, things like that. This is a qualification that I could take and would be accepted by those places for me to come in and instruct in a specific academic subject. So this is a qualification that I have undertaken, and it's specifically designed around the actual teaching side of it. And I think this is a much better approach for us to take, because by the time people are looking to instruct, most people are probably second or third dan maybe. So a lot of people will have been doing it, doing karate specifically for maybe a decade, maybe 12 years, something like that. I know a lot of places you can get a black belt in 5 years, so plus an extra 2 for second dan, plus an extra 3 for third dan. We're looking at perhaps a decade minimum. So your technical skill by that point should be sufficient for you to have that level of knowledge. What a lot of people lack is the knowledge on how to impart that technical skill to other people. And this is what I think the teaching and learning and training education qualifications, this is where I think they serve a really strong purpose. Now, on the other side of that, I do think that it is beneficial, particularly for us as karate people, to look at other sports or other arts that do have formal qualifications, so coaching qualifications. Look at the ones that we are eligible to take, and I think it would be hugely beneficial for a lot of us to take those. So I, for example, whilst I teach karate, I'm a qualified kickboxing coach, because it gives a level of recognition and officialness when people look at us as a club, that I think karate particularly lacks. So, there's no nationally recognised instructor's qualification for karate in the same way that there is for kickboxing. I've done mine through Wacko GB, but there are other organisations that offer them, or the judo level 1 and 2 coaching courses offered by British Judo. There's nothing like that for karate. So I think looking at those styles that have those qualifications and looking at where they're available to us, I think that's a really good way for us to show not only that we're competent as coaches, which is something that's going to reassure potential students and the parents of potential students if we teach children, but it also shows a dedication to kind of continuing professional development, so CPD. So this is something that is often also missing in the martial arts, and this is kind of the route that I think we should look at going down more than the formal starting qualification. So to discuss this, I'm actually going to discuss the other thing that I'm qualified in, which is personal training. So I'm a qualified personal trainer. I've worked as a personal trainer and a fitness instructor for a number of years. As a qualified personal trainer, I am required for my membership of SimSpa, who have taken over reps, to take part every year in a certain number of credits of continuing professional development. So I have to undertake courses to improve my skill set. SimSpa and reps before them had a list of qualifications that they would accept as a CPD. It's a huge list, so there's a lot of kind of scope for you to kind of go in the direction you want to. So, for example, I've done, I'm a powerlifting coach, and that counts as CPD. I've taken strength and conditioning courses through the University of Hertfordshire, and that counts as CPD. Things like that. People who are more interested in the kind of group training side of things can take circuit training, or kettlebell group classes, or music, exercise to music, things like this. But there is a requirement and an expectation that every single year you will improve your skill set in some way. And I think this is much more the route that we need to take in the martial arts. So, and again, I'm talking purely kind of subjectively from my experience. It's definitely a case that people can get to second dan, third dan, look at teaching, and then they just train for their next belt, and then train for their next belt, and they don't do anything in between. And most places have that time served requirement. So once you're a second dan, you've got to wait 3 years to take your third dan. That's 3 years in which you could be upskilling yourself. It's 3 years in which you could take a kickboxing instructor's course, or you could take courses in strength and conditioning to benefit that side of your club. You could take courses from different arts. So if your club is making the transition from 3K to a more practical club, and you're missing out elements of grappling, for example, British weightlifting, their course is open to pretty much everyone, as long as you've got a British weightlifting membership. You don't need to, as in the case of judo, you don't need to be a brown belt to undertake the course. You can go to the course and become a level 1 wrestling coach and learn a lot about grappling while you do it. Wacko GB, as long as you're a black belt, they'll take you on their kickboxing instructor's course. These are things that you can do to make yourself better. So I don't think we should be looking to get qualifications just for the sake of having qualifications. I think we need to look at our qualifications in two ways. Look at two key elements for qualification. The first element is, how do I become a better instructor? From the level 3 award in education and training, there are conflict delivery courses, scenario-based training courses, things like this that have that as a requirement, that you can go on to become better at delivering the type of training that you want to deliver. And then the second element is, how do I continually upskill myself as a martial artist? And those are the more sport-specific courses that we're going to look at from sports or arts other than ours that will still be open to us. So in short, I don't think that karate should go the same way as, for example, Aikido, Judo, boxing, where those are a necessity to become an instructor, and you need to be at a specific level to undertake a specific level of course. I think that's going to shut off the ability to become an instructor to a lot of people, and I also think that it's not going to be a sufficient course to cover the breadth of what we as karate do. We're so much more than a lot of the more sport-focused styles. We have sport-focused clubs. We have 3K traditional clubs. We have us in the practical or the realistic sphere. We all do very different stuff, and one course isn't going to cover that. And then I also think that we should look at undertaking courses that are going to continually develop us as professionals, to show that we are professionals, even though we don't have, I don't have a course in, I'm not qualified in instructing karate beyond having a black belt, but I am a professional, and I can show that I'm a professional because I've undertaken these courses. I've worked through this, I've developed this side of my teaching, I've developed this side of my actual performance. And we can show these things to people and go, this is what sets us apart from other people, this is how we as professionals act like professionals. So those were just some quick thoughts on whether or not karate instructors should have a instructor's qualification. If you have different thoughts to me, let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next Sunday. Have a lovely week.